Wow.
That was pretty cool, right?
Awesome. Welcome to season 2, episode 2. What's going on here at Laerdal and other hot topics. Like hot was the word that we chose, but very topics that are springing up in our area and across the globe. Whenever we get an email and say, "Hey, let's bring it in and see what we can talk about." So this is the webcast. You're here. If you're a simulation enthusiast, if you have any interest in healthcare in regards to the education that comes behind it and the continuing education and what keeps the planes in the sky in the healthcare field in relation to the aviation field as such. And I'm here with Alyssa. So
Yeah,
nice to see you.
hello. Shane, I feel like it's been a while since our last episode, but
Yeah,
I'm excited to be here again for another one.
yeah, me too. And congrats to Alyssa. Alyssa no longer is our account manager for the Atlantic territories. She has been super de duper promoted. She is one of the national resuscitation marketing managers. Alyssa, can you probably speak to that a little bit better, or is
Sure.
that?
Yeah, so I recently joined the marketing team within Laerdal, so I'm still with Laerdal, but on the marketing side, and my portfolio encompasses the resuscitation line, so from community responders and healthcare professionals. So if you have any questions about that, it's not necessarily what we're going to be covering today. We have some other topics, but we might be covering it in maybe the forum, the client's corner today, if you
Mhm.
have any questions, but
Yeah,
possibly in,
wide
yeah,
open.
exactly.
We
So,
we
but
somewhat have a script. We
we do.
sometimes have a script,
We
but
sometimes do.
the client's corner is like, let's see what we can do,
Yeah.
and let's see what we can talk about. So can you walk us through that today?
Yeah, for sure. So today's agenda, we do have a lot to cover. So if you have questions in the meantime, please put them in the chat. We're happy to answer. But again, like we just mentioned, we do have our notorious clients corner. So if you want to come off mute, go on camera, write in the chat, it's really up to you. But we're going to start with what we actually just saw on that almost like promo movie style video, which
Mhm.
was the SimMan 3G Plus. And then we're going to look at nursing and simulator geriatric, which some of you may be asking, well, didn't we look at this in the summertime?
Yeah,
But there are
yeah,
some changes, so we'll get a bit more into that. And then we'll have some information on some virtual instructor led training courses and services. So this is probably more up Shane's alley. We have some really good examples that Shane has done in the past year, even for some virtual installs, and kind of our way to pivot to this more
hmm,
virtual way of supporting our customers during these times, and hopefully another option for them in the future moving forward. And then we've got some hot topics, like Shane mentioned, which include some latex concerns that have been brought to our attention. So we're going to address those, some SimPad classic end of life discussions that we kind of wanted to let you know about. And then we move into the client's corner. So that's a little
absolutely.
bit of the flow today. So
Full
Shane, I don't
jam
know if you had
packed.
anything else to kind of quickly mention here before we move into 3G plus.
No, absolutely. I think we're in the right direction. I can't wait to hear some people's comments. If you have questions, remember that this is live and is being recorded for all your fellow teammates that can't make the live version. So if you have questions from them, let's bring it forward and see where we go. And if we find that we're taking up a lot of time, we can always resume the conversation on a future episode or even take it offline. So yeah, let's get to it. Let's see what SimMan 3J Plus is. There he
Awesome.
is. Look at that.
There he is. So just a few pictures before we kind of
Hmm.
roll out some of those clinical features and other more detailed points about him. But SimMan 3G Plus. So right off the bat, I think Shane, these pictures kind of just show us some of the amazing improvements that we're bringing here with this product. Notably, just first right off the bat, I can see those articulating arms, the articulating
Absolutely.
pelvis, which was something that had been requested for quite some time.
Hmm.
Even the humeral IO arms, which actually are bilateral, which is big.
Yeah.
The different face skins. And I
Absolutely.
mean, look
And
at that detail.
just to go back to the arms, Alyssa, we just
Yeah.
had someone comment there. Carrie Brood in the comment section said, "Yes, elbows. Yes, the
Yeah.
and somewhat articulation in the pronation and the pronation and the supination, and we're starting to get the articulation, and especially with mental health and other things that you want to do, or just simply just moving the arm around. 100% client suggested it, and now it has improved to that. Yeah, so
Yeah.
perfect. The other thing cool with the face and the arm skins, and that we're going to learn about even more, is that these are no longer those PCB skins. These are the silicone skins, and we're going to learn a little bit more about them in the coming slides. So here you can see the humeral IO is in place. That's bilateral, and you can also see that the SPO2 in the bottom right hand picture there is not connected to an adjunct. It's not connected to a vitals bridge. It's directly connected right into your clinical monitor. So we can talk a little bit more about that and that light diode functionality that's going on there.
Awesome. Thanks, Shane. So, moving along into some of the bigger key benefits and some
Hmm.
changes that are kind of bringing um, or coming along with SimMan 3G Plus. So, evidently the interchangeable face skins, and we're told, and I don't know if Shane, you haven't tried this yet, and I know you always try to beat
Absolutely.
that those times on the charts. So Shane
Yeah.
is the record breaker, but as of right now, it takes about 2 minutes to change those. We do have a video to show you just how easy it is, and
Yeah,
it
they
just
moved it to
adds
a
that.
Luralock system. They have
Yeah.
a little Luralock system. It's plug and play and pull it over. So yeah, no, let's when we see that video, we'll definitely see that
Yeah, it
that
gives a
video.
good kind of idea of how it all comes together, because exactly those Laurel locks are important to get in place, because
Mhm.
it does add some key features as well in how the SimMan 3G's face works. So evidently we're trying to go towards that whole holistic approach of one simulator, many patients. So this is something we talked about a lot with the nursing and simulator, how we can kind of transform her into different patients, and 3G plus is kind of going down that same path, right, Shane? So
Mhm.
we're trying to kind of go there, so you can add fidelity to your scenarios, you can add diversity to your scenarios as well. And another one of Shane's favorite is the second one here. So 3G now has ears.
Ears.
So
I
what does
mean,
that mean for us, Shane?
I don't know. I always thought it was funny. We were buying this high fidelity mannequin and we were using tape to tape on the nasal cannula. And I know that we've done it in the past. And I heard a story once of a student that taped on the nasal cannula to the side of a patient because that's what they did in simulation. So again, when I see the presence of ears and a place to put that on, it's definitely a well-deserved and well-needed part of our high fidelity simulation line for sure. Yeah.
Definitely.
And the improved BVM seal. When we get into it, I mean, I always had not a problem with I've always been told that the BVM seal was always tough on some of our high fidelity mannequins, which really helped perfect your CE grip around your mask, and so I've been told now that the face has become more real-like, in the sense that even when you apply the right real clinical pressure to your BVM and get that real CE clamp, you're going to get a better seal, and it's improved in that case to really
Hmm.
benefit the end user for sure. And then we've already
Definitely.
talked about the articulating pelvis and arms. So the
Hmm.
pelvis, hey, those people with that pre 2016 SimMan 3G with I know you beat your knuckles when you're trying to screw in that leg screw, and getting the compressor hoses through. Hey, we're there. I got marks on my knuckles. I just did a SimMan essential demo the other day with one of the old pelvises. We heard you, and now the legs actually fit into a metal slot, and then there's a drop pin, way more easier, and articulates more realistic as well. So big enhancements there on the pelvis as well.
Amazing. Want to do the next one too? I know I
Sure, yeah.
Shane is so excited about all of these. You can tell he does. He just wants to
I
keep
can't.
going.
I keep on writing our country manager here in Canada, and I'm sorry, the U.S., and I'm sorry if you're watching from anywhere else in the world. And I'm like, I need one of these right in front of me. I need to play with this. And right now, there's only currently one. It was released at the IMSH conference
Mhm.
earlier in January. We're in week 6 of that now. So if you haven't joined into any of the conference, please join in. We'd love to see you there. But there's a demo of him going on there with the only one that is known to existence, and it's in Norway right now. But I do have almost a daily email blast to the country manager saying, when's when's one coming? We really want to play with it, and we really want to try it out. So yeah, train with real clinical devices. So we no more have the Korsakoff sounds. It's now moved over to this isolometric kind of blood pressure. So that automated blood pressures, the NIBPs on real clinical machines now can capture the blood pressure, but not on one, but on two sides. Zach, now you get
Yeah.
two sides, two sides. So you can do that with the blood pressure cuff and pulse oximeter, where you're actually putting the pulse oximeter onto that index finger, and we're able to get the saturations that you've designed in your instructor application to be pushed out to the patient monitorable. That now will be pushed out to your real clinical pulse oximeter on your defibrillator, or just a standardized pulse oximeter. So
Very
um,
cool.
the other cool thing is, man, we used to always get complaints about pen. Once pen gets onto those PCB skins, it's like silly putty. It sucks it in and it doesn't want to let it go. So I've been told that you can take a pen. Now, I've taken nursing and simulator, and I've taken a pen and I've drawn on her face and her chest and her arms and tested this out, and they wiped off. No problem. I haven't tried permanent marker. But I have been promised by the material specialist that this is a key feature, that a permanent marker can be applied to the face and arm skins only,
Hmm.
and can be wiped off easily. So someone sneaks in with a pen and accidentally marks up the side of your mannequin, this will wipe off and it will become clear. As in the videos as well, you see the improved seizures and the improved pulses. So the seizures before, they used to almost like look like hypothermic chills where the patient was shivering, but these seizures look way more realistic, and it definitely will trigger your learners in the seizure environment, and go down that one.
Awesome.
Yeah, acne cream. Thank you, Shabby, for pointing that out. Acne cream has gotten some very fresh ink out. It also will dull some of the older ink out. You have to be very cautious. Test a small part is what we always say before, you know, applying copious amounts across your mannequin.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
thanks,
I
Shabby, for
actually,
bringing that in.
yeah, thank you, Shabby. And if anyone else has suggestions, comments, feel free to add in the chat.
Hmm.
Um, David Shablak actually was one of our guests on a previous episode, so he's always so great at participating in these. So thank you. I did, Shane, want to mention something kind of cool. So I'm just going to go back to this slide here and
Wait
just
now. Is
wait
this
now.
Alyssa's fun fact
Oh
time?
yes, this is fun fact time. So we're gonna hopefully be incorporating more of these. But
Awesome.
as you can see, we have different face skins. I just want to specify first and foremost that you're not going to be, let's say you get a SimMan 3G, the face skins are something you can get as additions to your
Hmm.
mannequins. So you might be able to choose and pick if you want, let's say coming down the pipeline, a geriatric face skin or a African descent face skin like the one we see here. But again, if you get a SimMan 3G, you're not going to get all the face skins and kind of mix and match. It's more
Hmm.
as you see fit and add-ons.
Right.
But as we can see here, I think these faces are absolutely beautiful. They're almost like pieces of art. And I don't know if everyone, I mean, I probably no one knows this, but Shane and I do, and we wanted to share this fun fact with you. So the designer of these beautiful faces is actually the special effects artist that worked on the show Game of Thrones. So I
Yo.
mean, that's pretty cool.
All right,
I
it's
thought
time
that
for
was
reaction
awesome.
and Zoom. What? Yes. No,
What?
that's so cool. So yeah, the Game of Thrones for you Game of Thrones souvenir collectors, buy a Simman 3G Plus today. Like now this is for the airbrushing. So each one of them are airbrushed, and they have what's called a design scheme that they follow, but each one is individually hand airbrush painted by this person. So super cool. And I heard when we ramp up to speed, we'll be looking at producing about 25 of these a month. So we're really looking forward to see what the pre-orders look like and getting our hands on one, and really trying it out and get some close-up looks.
Mhm.
We will be doing that on a special edition of this webcast. So
Yeah.
hopefully we get our hands on one sooner than later, and we'll find out about the dates here now coming up in the next couple slides.
Perfect. And we have some questions. So One question is, will there be dragon faces? I mean, I don't think so. Who knows? But I guess we can get in contact with that
Mhm.
Game of Thrones person. And then
So
another question was, can they change skin colors? So again, depending on which model of the 3G plus that you end up ordering,
mhm,
you will get the skin tone that you select in terms of, let's say you were to choose this one versus that one. And then afterwards, it's kind of like the nursing and simulator,
right.
in the sense that you would be able to modularly switch out the face skins, but in order to switch out the whole body, it's kind of like getting just a different simulator.
Yeah,
So we
so
can
yeah,
yeah,
for
go ahead.
an example would be if you were to go with the dark skin, you could then get the light face skin, then just swap out the face skins to give it a different feature. But if you want to go for a different feature look, you would get the African descent skin, which would give you
Mhm.
the African descent features. But it won't change the whole fundamental color of your whole mannequin. It will
Yeah,
just concentrate on the face skin alone. So that's a that's a great question.
yeah.
And really, when you go to look at procuring this or looking at the different options, it's very fundamental that you understand that the face skin change will just be the face skin and not the whole base of the simulator. And the exciting one is the next one to come out is the geriatric skin, the
Mhm.
geriatric face skin that will come in, I do believe, 3 of the skin
Yep,
cones. So
exactly.
there's a little bit of a recap on what we're able to do here with the humeral IOs. So they're bilateral on both sides. So no longer do we have this unidextrous simulator that, if you had to put it on a wall, you wouldn't have to worry about what side was against the wall. Um, Glenn James just asked, skins are made from silicone. Yes, and I
Mhm.
think Shabby had did a great favor for us and put in there, the face skins and the arm skins are made of silicone. The original chest skins and stuff is still going to be that PCB material, but the arm skins and the face skins. So if you need anything to attach to that, Shabby was actually on our Moulage episode last Halloween. He also has a Sim Geeks podcast where he talks about the different products. Just to kind of go back on that, and he uses a product called a Fix, and he has a big long list. But along with this, we'll be sending along our silicone dressing package, which nothing sticks better to silicone than silicone. And so what you do is you create a silicone foundation and then apply your normal bandage tape to the top of that. Um, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff for that. Will there be patch kits for potential squid cares? You know what? I'm going to write that down. That is a fabulous
Mhm.
question.
That's a good
And
one.
we have a PIB that is created by Laerdal. And Alyssa, if you can check the PIB just to see if there is going to be a patch kit for skin cares, because I don't think that question has arrived yet. And I know that where we have a lot of stretching and everything with silicone, especially like with nursing and simulator, we've reinforced all of the areas that would have that extra tension applied. And I see a big improvement with Sim Baby. Sim Baby came out with an
Yeah.
update skin that totally reinforced. It's a fabulous skin. And it really made a big difference. And so the nursing and simulator did the same thing. And I would imagine that the SimMan 3G Plus now, where we've now dealing with silicone skins in Sim Newbie, Sim
Mhm.
Baby, and nursing and simulator, SimMan 3G, we've already got some of that learning and some of the best practices now behind us. And so going forward, I would imagine this is going to be a solid skin structure, I guess.
Yeah, that's a great question, and
It
we could
is.
probably include it in the follow-up. I didn't really see any PIB that came out with that, but I could have definitely missed it and can include it in the follow-up. But great questions. Keep them coming.
Cool.
So
So
some Oh,
yeah,
are you going to read that one?
yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
You go ahead. I'm going to jump back in with the connectivity if you
Yeah,
want.
that's a really good one. Okay, so go ahead and I will address this maybe.
Okay, so the use of real clinical equipment, again, that goes back to your SpO2 and your NIBP on your patient monitors and your real clinical machines. Live Shock is now going to be available with your SimMan 3G Plus. For those people that don't like the Live Shock option, there is an option to downgrade and keep to the post defibrillation as well. That's something to keep your eye on. If you do like the post defibrillation, that can be achieved. and improved connectivity. So no longer are we going to be the SimMan 3G is going to have a router. He's going to have a dongle now instead. And what the dongle does is it doesn't create a Wi-Fi. It doesn't create a network. It actually connects to a network. So it replaces this router. So this will be very, very important that when you're dealing with your client executives or your sales or your territory managers with Laerdal, you want to talk about connectivity right away. You want to talk about whether or not the SimMan 3G Plus is going to go on to your network at your university or college or hospital. If it doesn't want to do that, then we do have a router option that is battery powered. So it makes it still tetherless for your mobile simulations. So the improved connectivity, they have tested this system out with this improved dongle, and tenfold great response coming back, and can't wait to see this in action.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Thanks again,
So,
David. David
oh,
Shabby's just taken off. Thanks again for joining in. Go have fun with
yeah,
Nursing and
thanks.
Simulator, and we'll catch up soon. All right.
Perfect. So, just a quick overview of some of the logistics here. So, as Shane mentioned, the SimMan 3G Plus was officially launched in early January at the IMSH conference, which was virtual this year and is still ongoing. I believe we're in week
Free,
6.
free training,
Yeah.
free courses.
So, if you
Come
guys
join
can get
us.
there, yep.
Yeah, come join us. Unless you need a CE certificate for your occupation, you can come in, join free. There was discussions on escape rooms and how to involve escape rooms into simulation. Super, super brilliant people there, and we love to chat. And all the vendors are there, so come join in, take part, come say hello at the Laerdal table, and yeah, just join in. And it's
Oh,
free. I like
yeah,
free.
exactly. Why not? Free resources, always the best, just like this webcast.
Yeah.
And so, for those of you that are interested in this product or considering it, just another consideration is that shipping for these begins mid-May 2021. So this is pretty soon, I'd say, especially for such a new product to the market. And for those of you that are like, oh man, I just got a 3G. This is awesome. I want this one. Well, we have some good news. Hopefully, if your product is, I believe it's 2016 and newer, you
100%.
would be eligible if you want for the upgrade kits that help you kind of get closer to exactly what the 3G Plus is. So this becomes available in around mid-August. So keep
Mhm.
an eye out for that if that interests you. But we didn't want to leave anybody out of this awesome Plus upgrade.
Right. So, I mean, there's a couple different things that we can talk about here. If your mannequin is older than 2016, just send us your serial number. We'll talk to you. There is trade-in value for your SimMan 3Gs, and we can apply that toward, let's say, if you wanted to go to a SimMan 3G Plus. Those options are available as well. And those for people after 2016, the updates are going to be available. We're not quite sure about the price yet. However, if you have any questions about the pricing, please drop us an email, and we'll get back to you as soon as we know more. And Alyssa, we got a new email.
Yes, we do. I don't know if anyone here noticed. We usually send our emails out from our personal, whether that be Alyssa or Shane at Laerdal.com. But
Hmm.
this time we actually have a HSL at Laerdal.com. So
I'll
we
put it
will
in
be
the chat.
sending the follow up from there as well. And you can always reach out to us regarding questions from our webcast on that email. So Shane just put it in the chat there if you wanted to note it down. And we would be happy to answer any questions there. But again, if you needed to reach out to us specifically individually, you can always do so with our
Especially if you got
phone.
any ideas about upcoming shows, or if I have
Yeah.
any questions, or if we say something that you don't like, or you find different information, we'd love to hear about it.
Mhm.
We love to have share errors and omissions in our next podcast to make sure that we're giving you the best and most accurate information that we can. So thank you again for listening in, and we're going to get into the next part here. That's
Yes.
SimMan 3G. There we go.
So
So
this is the
the
famous head
videos.
and face change video that we kind of talked about.
Mm,
And I'm just going to play this quickly just to show you really how easy it is and what those features look like once they're all set up. So I'm just going to mute the volume so we can kind of talk over it.
right.
And I'll just play it a little bit faster so it doesn't take too much time.
There we go. Perfect. So
So
there's
here we see,
the live
oh,
skin.
go ahead, Shane.
That's the live shock
Yeah.
skin there. Here's the face. Here it goes. Take that off. There we go. Laura lock that. Now we got this in fast time, so I'm still gonna try to beat this time, Alyssa. There we go. Boom. Excellent. So there you go. Still got the same great reactive pupils that SimMan, and they're consensual. He sweats. This is all features on all the face skins. He still has the ear discharge, the eye discharge. Here you can actually see in the nasal, it's no longer just on the top of the lip; it's actually inside the nair. So that looks like an improvement right there when it comes to, like, maybe you're trying to represent a basilar skull fracture where they have battle signs or they have discharge or intracranial fluid coming from the nose or ears. So this looks a little bit more accurate about where they should come from. So that's awesome. Thank you.
Mhm. And again, if you wanted to check out the clinical features video or save this one for later, you can take a quick, uh, I guess, screen grab or picture with
Take a
your camera
picture,
phone and
please.
save this for later. But otherwise, again, we will have some of these linked in the follow up. So if you don't have your phone on you, that's fine. We can link them after, no problem.
Mhm.
So moving on. Oh, someone has a question.
All
Curious
right.
about how the sweat goes through the face overlay. Also, how does the I can't
Luralock.
even talk,
Yeah.
Luralock
Yeah.
system work?
Yeah. So these are great questions. And maybe to get more insight, I'll reach back out to the production team and actually see if we can get some intricate pictures on exactly that connection. Is there any way that we can slow it down or get
Yeah,
little?
let
Let's see
me
if we
bring
can.
it
I don't.
back
I
to.
don't think that we're going to be close enough to get to really what we're really. But it looks like just like the tips that are on. If you have a nursing and simulator inside the reservoirs in the abdomen, that look like those kind of quick connectors that just kind of
Mhm.
go in and they just kind of twist into place. Um, so that might be the way that that's done.
And they're
But
usually color
again,
coded, so
yeah.
they'll have exactly like Shane said, the reservoirs pushing out those liquids. So there is tiny little perforations. Oh, this was the responsive
Yeah.
pupils, but as you can see here, where the sweat or the tears actually come from,
And
so
I
that's
think
where those systems connect. Oh,
And I
yeah, go
think
ahead, Shane.
when it goes back to where is the fluid stored, it's still going to be down into that right
Hmm.
thigh area where your compressor will be down in your right calf, and then your fluid and your air is stored in your right thigh. So all that again, I think the fluid fill systems are going to be the same because if they're still using the 2016 chassis, they're building on that same platform. So I don't think that has changed. So the water will still be going into that right thigh and then being compressed by the compressor and then brought up through the system where it will be into this Luralock from the face skin that we've seen being dropped down through the nose.
Hmm.
Um, Something about the moisture. Just wasn't sure if the moisture might accumulate underneath the overlay given the sweat hole is quite small. Yeah, I agree with that. And maybe we can get a better picture or a better drawing that I can share with you to see how that's actually done to get some better understanding. But for most of what I know is that there's a long kind of flat silicone tube that goes underneath that have these perforations. So I think those channels move with the skin. So when you get another face skin, it comes with all those channels separate, and the only place to connect is those Luralock connections that we see down there. But we can get some more information from the product
Hmm.
team, and I have it wrote down here to get back to our 3G plus specialists so we can get some more info and maybe get some pictures exactly on how that's done, or actually get a live video from Norway with an actual face change. So thank you so much for
Hmm.
bringing that up, and we can go forward with that.
Thank you. All right, so that was the last of 3G, and now we get
Mhm.
to move into nursing and simulator geriatrics. So, Shane, why are we
I
looking
know,
at this?
I
And
know it.
what's the difference from what we were seeing before with
I
the
know,
geriatric?
and that's what I thought too. And I was like, "What? Why are we talking about this again, Alyssa?" But what we talked about before was the nursing and simulator, and then adding the geriatric essentials kit. So much like what we were just talking about with SimMan 3G Plus, where we're going to buy a base foundation, but then we have the ability on the nursing and simulator or the SimMan 3G Plus to change the face skin. Well, with the
Mhm.
nursing and simulator, the face skin is connected to the whole anterior, and then the back plate is the whole posterior surface. The only thing that doesn't change with the Geriatric Essentials kit is that the arms and the legs and some of these other really unique features that we're about to see, they don't come with the Geriatric Essentials kit. This comes with the nursing and simulator Geriatric.
Mhm.
Um, so the naming is very similar, and that's what we definitely want to make sure that when we communicate what exactly we're looking for. But this one is going to come with something I didn't even know the name for it, and I didn't know what arcus senseless pupillets were. And I'm really sorry, nursing team. I really, I've seen this a lot in a lot of my geriatric presentations, and I didn't know that there was a word on it. And in my ignorance, I might have said, "Oh, that kind of looks like cataract or the start of a cataract," but this is not. And thank you again, because I actually looked it up and found some information, and there you can see it's the light grayish formation in the color part of the eye there, going just from the cornea. But this is going to come with those kind of pupils now. The teeth are going to be aged, the arms, the hands, the feet, the back skin, and also the genitalia. And Lissa had, for a presentation for IMSH earlier, had a chance to meet with geriatric nursing and simulator geriatric. And you can see here on the bottom right hand is your QR code to view the overview video. But Alyssa has a nice little video that she did live.
Yeah, so actually this wasn't even intended for today's webcast. I just
Mhm.
took it because I thought it was she would just look so cool and so real, and it was the first time I had seen the geriatric version, so I figured I can share that with all of you today. So, I mean,
You didn't do her hair.
no, I didn't do
Not
her
that I
hair,
care about
unfortunately.
hair.
She wasn't camera ready, but
Yeah.
I took it anyways.
Okay,
She
there's
gave
your
me the blessing.
central line access. Alyssa likes to shine in on her engagement ring. There you go. But look at this. Look at this. Those people that are EMTs, paramedics out there, sometimes they call us vampires, but just look at the veins. Like the first one I started seeing this, I was like, let me see which one I would attack. But you got to remember,
No.
these veins feel real. These are not the ones, these are not IV veins that we're going to penetrate or do an IV initiation on. She has pre-ported, bilateral pre-ported arms. But yeah, just look at the airbrushing and the detail that they put. Alyssa, these veins were raised. Is that correct? Like,
Yeah, they feel absolutely real. It was
mhm.
it was almost I was taken aback at how real it felt. Like it was just you actually can feel all the details of those veins and even up to here actually. But just like Shane said, you're going to want to use these pre-ported IVs because this is really just a work of art and just kind of adds to that realism and allows the students and the learners to just fully immerse themselves in these types of scenarios. It's just it adds to that whole sensory experience. Not only you're looking at it, but you're feeling it too. So I thought it was really cool. But yeah, it's kind of I'll play it again just to show, but the details on her face, the sun marks, and even from the front clavicles and the freckles and the back skin, it was just all really interesting to
Very
see
cool. Thank you
in
for
person. Yeah,
thank you
because
for
these are
sharing
new
that,
to us
Alyssa.
too,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
you don't have one, right, Shane?
No, I
One of
don't.
these?
I have the essentials kit, and that in itself is amazing with the skin and the airbrushing that's done on that. I'm looking forward to seeing the whole simulator in the geriatric form, and really seeing the transition between the two. So that's so cool, and thank you so much for sharing that, Alyssa.
No problem. So, if there's not any questions on that, we can move along to the virtual
Hmm.
services, which Shane, I know you have a lot of fun stuff to share here. We also
Hmm.
have a great amount of pictures of Shane's sim lab and all the things he could do for everybody. So, I'll let you take this part away.
Yeah, so the services part was kind of unique. It was kind of the pivot point of when we couldn't do face to face, but yet there was a need for SimMan essentials, nursing and simulators, Sim Juniors, and people, the companies were understanding that the training needs to need to be heightened. The clinical space for practice was reducing, so the need for them was still out there. So there was many opportunities where we were showcasing some of our products online, but more importantly, even more so now, with wave one complete, wave two right in the cusp here, in regards to we can still provide services for installation and educational services, even though the face-to-face is no longer permitted by guidelines at this point in time. And until those guidelines lift, we do have virtual services available. So this is just some of the examples of what we were doing. So here you can see that we're installing a SimMan 3G certified pre-owned product. And we're one of the camera up on top there, and over to the right, you can see the inspection of the airway. And that top left picture is where I am working. But you can definitely see the farthest to the left there. That is the client's SimMan 3G. And then on the right is me performing in my lab in St. John's, Newfoundland, just outside of St. John's, Newfoundland. And we're able to coordinate and work together to put the mannequin together, test it to make sure that it meets all of the checklists, make sure 100% functionality, and definitely guide people through the basic operation, startup, turn on, maintenance, and storage of this unit. SimMan 3G was the height, as this is the highest fidelity that we have. So it was a complicated install. It was also my first. So first virtual install. So there was a lot of learning curves, and we just found ways to do it better and make it better. And we can go on to the next pictures here now. Listen, there you can see this is my good simulation friend, Ivan Cozy, Ivano Cozy, and this is Sim Baby. And you can see here on the right, this is me in my little lab. And we were having trouble on that new Sim Baby seeing the central cap refill. And so with the use of the cameras, I was able to show directly where the cap refill kind of button is, and then we were able to reproduce that on the new unit, and everything was working perfect. So with that Sim Baby, you actually have the ability to change the cap refill either peripherally out on the hand or centrally right there, just below, just high up on the sternum, and be able to change that refill from 2 seconds to delayed to whatever seconds you want. So it's a really cool feature, and this is just one way that we could do that virtually. Hi, are you still there? Hi, are you able to still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, perfect.
Did you lose me, or was that?
Yeah, no, there was a little tiny pause there, but
Okay.
here you can again you can see Ivano Cozy working away there, and this is we're following a checklist there on the left, and we're able to superimpose that checklist to make sure that everything is working the way that it should. So there's that
Perfect.
idea. So those kind of services are available to us in Atlantic Canada and to your region. Just to reach out to your client executive or your territory manager to find out more information. If you can't get a hold of someone, please drop us an email, hsl@laerdal.com, and we'll get you hooked up to the people that can guide you through this process. It's a we call it right now a 3-stage process. So as for education, though, so we're moving away from the services, so we can actually install these, but into education, we've actually delivered over 8 VILT courses since the beginning of this year of 2021. So 80 VILT courses. And those courses can include, they're usually around 2-hour courses, and that's like navigating LEAP, SimPad Plus, orientation and nursing and simulator, or any kind of educational pathway that you desire, even in regards to using simulation as a modality for your learning outcomes. So they're great courses. They start at $9.95 Canadian for a 2-hour slot. We have a current promo right now: buy 3 get 1 free. So we're exercising those, and those people that have previously purchased education in the traditional sense, and you want to get ball rolling and you want to do some virtual to get your simulation enthusiasts and simulation technicians and your medical teams that's behind the green curtain, if you want to get them trained up before they get back to your sim lab, here's a way that you can transfer those traditional education or purchase new build courses for your team and allow your team to get trained up before heading back into the sim labs for some pretty fun packed times.
Perfect.
Oh, the other thing that was
Oh,
mentioned back there too is the telesim. So anybody interested in learning how to
yeah.
do the
Very cool.
telesim, I know that our colleagues in Ontario did a really, really cool job where the student was at home. There was using vSim, using task trainers, and using an instructor and sharing screens. This is a great course to learn how to do that and implement it into your into your courses or into your continuing education for your healthcare teams. So if you have any
Definitely. Great
questions,
point, Shane.
yeah,
And I know a lot of people, it's new, right?
mhm,
Telesim. So it's to take, especially if it's something that you're not used to. And we have some great resources for that. So yeah, let us know if it's interesting for you.
cool.
Next up is another hot topic, which was
Hmm.
brought forth by some of our customers. So I know, Shane, this was something you had kind of been looking into with the material specialist. So
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
So latex materials. So it was brought to our attention that there was some people that are allergic to natural rubber latex.
Mhm.
Latex, we've been trying to keep out of our simulators as much as we can. But in this case, the Nursing Ann Classic, there is 4 different points of latex. And so if you're ever wondering about your product, if it has latex, if you open up to the first page of the user guide, you'll see
Mhm.
this caution. If your product has latex, the user guide will have this caution right in the beginning saying this has a natural latex and you know may explode if it comes in contact with humans. No, I'm, no, but in all seriousness, if people are allergic to this, we need to find ways to make a solution around it. So
Mhm.
if your product has it, drop us a line. We can go back to the material specialist, find exactly where the latex is. Usually, in most cases, it's this vein tubing that we see, and sometimes that's used around the mannequin and some other places, like with the Nursing and Classic, it's used in the neck assembly to create that manual bulb pulse when you get the non-SimPad capable. But you see it in all of our IV veins, and a lot of companies have to use this because this is the only material that is self-sealing, which means
Yes.
that you can poke it with an IV a bunch of times and it won't leak like a Bellagio fountain out of the arm every time you prime it with fluid. We are investigating ways to get away from this product, but if you have to remove it from your mannequin, we can talk about some different ways that we can apply some other different types of materials such as TPE, thermoplastic elastomers, and get some kind of functionality still in that arm without having to jeopardize the latex allergies or and keep our healthcare staff right where they need to be and training and in practice. So yeah,
Definitely.
anything about latex, drop us a line. We love to chat, and we have a great resource in Norway that helps us out with that.
Awesome. Good to know, Shane. And another final one is
End
the
of life.
SimPad Classic End of Life. So end of life
Wah, wah,
is
wah.
December 31st, 2021.
What
But
happens? Alyssa,
yeah, what
hold up, hold up,
happens?
hold up, hold up. End
What?
of life sounds horrible to me.
I know.
What does this mean? Does this mean my SimPad Classic's going to explode?
Um, Potential. No, I'm kidding. It won't explode. Don't worry.
Yeah,
End
it
of
will
life. Yeah,
actually.
it seems like such an intense term
It
for
is.
us,
That's
especially
okay.
as a company where we're trying to save lives and we're
Yeah, that's
ending
okay
SimPad
though.
lives.
I think that's a product thing, and when things come to end, they have to give a lots of notice on it. So when SimPad Plus was released, they did send out a little bit of a note saying, this is the kind of the new way we're going. You got 5 years to kind of figure this out, or
Mm-hmm.
and that's what's happening. December 31st, 2021, they're going to stop sending out updates for the SimPad
Yes,
Classic.
exactly.
Does that mean it's not going to work anymore?
No, you can
No.
still use it. It's
Right.
just any new updates. that come onto the Leap for SimPad Plus
Mhm.
will not be able to get into your SimPad Classic version. So
Right.
the easiest way to tell is for the most part that yellow or blue button. The
Right.
yellow is the Classic, the blue is the Plus. And on the back of the Plus, or even in the front here, as you can see, it says SimPad Plus, and
Mhm.
this one just says Laerdal. So
Yeah.
those are
So
some kind of key, I guess, telltales to let you
mhm.
know which one you have if you're not sure. But yeah, Shane, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, and so the software that you put onto the SimPad Classic uh, before, let's say, just December 30th, 2021, they put out new software. That software will still be good, and the SimPad
Hmm.
Classic will still run. It's just all the new stuff from there on. They'll also keep
Exactly.
an archive, the great versions such as 6.8 that we all knew that was really good. I think 6.3 was really good. Right now we're up to 7.3, and everything is working as it should. But we do have another hot topic coming up. It's going to be a hot fix.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about that. So sometimes sitting behind a desk at simulation can look a lot like this, where you have multiple screens, multiple things going on. And this picture always reminds me of sitting behind the simulation uh, instructor screens and sharing all this stuff. But here it is. So Leap is going to be making a 6.3 announcement soon. So right now we're operating on 7.2. There has been a note that 7.2, the 12 lead button on your patient monitor doesn't work. So
Hmm.
if you're on 7.2, give it a try. Make sure, see if your patient monitor is on 7.2 as well. If the 12 lead button doesn't work, if it's an immediate crucial fix, all you have to do is download the 6.8 or the most recent. I would go back to the 6.8 because I know that it's working on 6.8, and
Hmm.
7.3 is going to be adjusted soon. And it's going to be released for Leap, and it's going to fix this problem. I've also heard rumor it might affect the electronic heart fetal monitor on the patient monitor as well. So again, if you have that problem, let's make sure that we find out about it before you need it actually in simulation. Test it out the day before, and if that is the problem, then just go to our website and download the 6.8 and run that until the 7.3 comes out. So the SimPad Classic and the SimPad Plus have already jumped over to that 7.3, so no worries there.
Perfect. And so Shane, if I go back to 6.8 and then want to get to 7.3,
Mhm.
do I need to update to 7.1 and 7.2, or can I make that jump?
That's a great question, Alyssa, and you can jump right from 6.8 to 7.3, unless they put out any kind of special differences with the 7.3 launch. But ever since the earlier launches, every time you download, you just download the full application, so it overwrites any old application information. So you will be fine if you have to jump back to 6.8 to then spring to
Perfect.
7.3.
Sounds good. All right. So we've done
We
a
made
lot
it.
today and we made it to the client's corner.
We
So
did.
this is an area that's open to everyone. If you have questions, no matter if it's relating to what we spoke about today, if it's anything else relating to simulation or Game of Thrones, no, I'm kidding. Um, let us know, and we could type in some of your ideas, your comments, your questions, and kind of hopefully get back to you or just have an open discussion. So this is your time. Also, if you have to jump off, remember this is recorded. So we're going to be sending those out to everybody after the session today.
Okay, Henley Small. Just I don't we I did not plug this at all. Henley Small just asked, "Is there trade-ins on older SimPads?" I That's a great question, and it's a great segue to our SimPad promo. So if you have older SimPad, the SimPad Classic, send us your serial number for your SimPad Classic. We will send you a quote for a SimPad Plus with the promo discount, and I do believe it's 30% off. Is that correct, Alyssa?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's 30% off, and that's off on the SimPad Plus as well as the Leap license for SimPad. So you're getting 30% off of the both of those with a SimPad Classic serial number. So just make sure
Perfect.
that you
Great
have your
question.
serial number ready, and we'll make sure that we pass on those savings to you guys. Any point. Anybody else have any interesting stories? Any interesting do-it-yourself simulations? You build something. This is a great time. You can feel free to unmute, share your video, um, or tell an interesting simulation story.
Mhm. I also wanted to note the question from earlier about the um, silicone tears, so I don't forget about it for 3G. And I know you kind of addressed this uh, with the Sim Baby, but
Hmm.
just so we can make sure we're going to address it in our
Yeah,
follow-up or
I'm
in our
I'm
next session.
if they do the same job that they do with the nursing and simulators, what they've done with the new upgrade with the Sim Baby, if they do the same kind of skin, I'm
Yeah,
hoping that this question will be a
resolved.
mute, because the skin won't tear. But
Hmm.
in all cases, let's see if there is an idea or anything can be born around repairing those tears and putting them back together. I know that I have seen some silicone on some of the task trainers, um, where they've ripped and torn and people have stapled them, but then it almost becomes part of the simulation because it's a staple they have to remove, or
Yeah,
it
fair
becomes a
enough.
skill that they have to do. So interesting to say the least. Yeah. Anybody have any questions about SimMan 3G Plus? This we have all the latest and greatest. So hopefully we can be information gatherers for you as well if you have questions that we
Hmm.
don't know. um, I know that there's some people on the call right now that we're going to be doing some virtual installs coming up soon, so that's going to be very interesting, and hopefully have some more to share on that. um, on our Medifex mask, we noticed the tears usually occurred around the eyes and mouth, taking mask on and off. Yeah, absolutely. It's where those kind of corners meet, like at the mouth and at the eyes. If they have a lot of tension over time, that's the problem that I did see with our original Sim Baby skin, is that the eye used to always rip and tear while you were trying to pull on the skin. And the latest Sim Baby skin that I put on, it was fantastic.
Hmm.
I could almost feel, before I would always feel like I had to be very cautious about putting it on, but now I felt a lot more. I felt more confident
Like
putting it
sturdier.
on.
Yeah.
Sturdy,
Hmm.
quality, thicker, and reinforced is the kind of the words that I would really describe. So yeah, I'm really hoping that they don't have that same problem that you're having with that vendor's mask that you have. If you have pictures of those masks, we would love to just take a look at them, and maybe we can even pass it on to our teams and saying, hey, other silicone masks have done this. Can we make sure that we don't go down this path? But great. Yeah, great sharing. Thank you so much.
Perfect.
All right. Well, we have a quiet crowd here. Hopefully, we were able to pass on a lot of information for you. Again, if you need any information at all, it's just to reach out to myself or Alyssa. And if you're not in my territory, don't worry. We'll put you in touch with who is.
Hmm.
And yeah, anything else from you, Alyssa? Anything cool happening on your resuscitation end of the world?
I mean, if you're interested, we do have some cool new virtual products if interesting, like Anywhere, which I know we spoke about in our Christmas episode. So for
Hmm.
those of you that didn't, I can even write it here so you guys know how to search it. So Anywhere is a great tool to use for any type of virtual CPR classes. If you're an instructor, you can use this as a platform, and it is a guideline compliant with the AHA's virtual training. And then we also have a new one called Team Reporter, which is launching soon in Canada. It has launched in the United States. I am not 100% aware of the rest of the world. However, I know it is coming. But Team Reporter is a great video debriefing QCPR tool for those high performance CPR teams. So if you're an EMS group or even a hospital group that's looking to train on high performance CPR, this is a really cool tool. So we could even talk about this in another episode, but that's kind of what's new on my end. But
Excellent.
yeah,
And again, if anybody has anything that they'd like to see in the next coming episodes, please leave us a note here. Especially like this time, like if you had any questions about operating using SimPad or operating using Leap, this is a great time. This episode, these webcasts are for you, and making sure that we can keep you in the right direction and utilization of your mannequins more and more, um, and get bigger and better outcomes to help save some more lives.
exactly. Well put, Shane. And if there's nothing else, we can give you back 5 minutes of your time. And we thank you so much for joining us today and looking forward to connecting in the future. But again, if you need to contact us, let me put that email again here. So you have our emails
HSL.
at the bottom there, but if you want to reach out to the overall email that gets both of us, you can reach out to that one, and we'll be sending the follow-up recording with additional resources for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be happy, stay safe, and be healthy. Thank you so much. Bye for
Thank you,
now.
everyone. Have a good one. Bye.